Hello everybody, welcome to Developing Success. This is the video on the current affairs section, and recently there was a issue in regard to the Italian hydroelectric power project which is present in the state of Arunachal Pradesh. So this issue is actually a very old issue because the project was announced in 2008. Again, there was a issue going in 2014 and 15, and recently in 2020 a team has from the environment ministry has gone to visit the particular place in Arunachal Pradesh to see why this project is halted. So this project is called by some scientists as flawed. Some are seeing as a problem in the environmental concern. Some are seeing the problems with the tribal sector, tribal people sector. So we will see in this lecture that what is the issue with the Italian hydroelectric power project. First of all, it was announced in 2008, and till now it has not been built. So the viability of the project is in fact questionable. Why? Because in 2008 whatever the cost and whatever the project was planned, it is not possible that it will stand in 2020 also. Apart from that, the two governments have changed since 2008, and that is why there can be a change in the policies in regard to the hydroelectric power project, because India is trying to shift its course to the solar energy, to the wind energy. Okay, so that is why the hydroelectric power projects in India nowadays are too much viewing the environmental protest and also the problems of seismic zones, earthquake prone zones in India. So that is why this solar and wind energy are preferable. So that is why this project is in news and the issue is going on. So that is why we will read it, and in regard to the map pointing of the whole area I have covered in this lecture, so that will be helpful for the upcoming exams. So this project is based on the river Dibang. So this river actually rises in Arunachal Pradesh only. It flows around 190 kilometers in Arunachal Pradesh, and then it joins the river Brahmaputra. I will show you on the map, don't worry about that. So this is the construction of the two gravity dams which is over the tributary of this Dibang river. Two tributaries are Drir and Tangon. Okay, so this is the largest hydroelectric power projects which is currently being developed in India. So that is why it is talked of more, and the project is being executed through the Italian hydroelectric power company, and which is a Jindal power company, and the hydropower development corporation of Arunachal Pradesh. So it is a joint venture between them, and the installed capacity of the project is 3097 megawatt as per the detailed project report. Now I will show you the whole valley. So whichever I am circling is known as your Dibang valley, and this river, the underlining part which I am doing is the Dihang river, H. Remember the H, we are talking about the Dibang river, B. Okay, so this Dihang river is also known as Siang river in the Indo-Tibetan language, in the language which is used in Arunachal Pradesh, Siang. So this Dihang is located in the districts of Dihang and West Dihang. So this is the area of the concern, and let me tell you that you can see the three big streams here, and the three big streams are the Dihang, the Dibang and the Lohit. Okay, so all these three streams actually join the Brahmaputra river, and the whole Brahmaputra then flows through the Assam. Okay, dividing the Assam into the upper Assam and the lower Assam. Okay, so this was the basic information. Now we will see there are many small tributaries which are joining the Dibang river. So here is your Kea Pass, and in this Kea Pass is located your origination of the Dibang river, and the Dibang river comes down, and this is the area of the hydropower project, the Italian hydropower project. So this area is important, that is why. And this is the Dihang river, this is the Lohit river. Remember the area, because this area is also, so this area which I am marking is also the area of biosphere reserve, which holds a special importance in our study. Okay, so that will be important, and I hope you are clear with all the pointings now. So this is your Dihang river, this is your Dibang, and this is your Lohit. All the three streams, they join Brahmaputra, and here the part which I am encircling now is the area of the Italian hydropower project. Italian is a very small village, and the nearest big town is the Anini, this one, Anini. Okay, so now we study about the Dibang river near the Kea Pass in the Indo-Chinese border. Mishmi Hills is the area here which it is the river is getting the birth, and the tributaries are Sisar and Mathun and Tangon and Dri, Ithun and Emra. You don't want to remember all the rivers, it is not important, but for the people of Arunachal Pradesh PCS aspirants, these tributaries are important. But those who are attempting for CDS and UPSC civil service exam or SSC and some other competitive exam, for them the Tangon and the Dri, these two are the important ones, because the gravity dams will be built are to be built on these two rivers. As you can see in the map, this is the area of the Italian project, and the Anini is the nearest town. This is the Dihang channel, this is the Dibang river channel, and this is the Lohit river. Okay, so these three are joining here after the Pasiaghat region in the upper Assam, in the Lakhimpur area, where they are turning into the Brahmaputra river. Now if you see, I will show you the Dihang Dibang Biosphere Reserve area. So actually this Italian area is not present into the Dihang Dibang Biosphere Reserve. The Italian area is present here, Anini is here. Okay, I have marked, but it is very near, the vicinity is very near, and because it is a biogeographic region, we should study it. So it is very easy. Just remember that there are 18 biosphere reserves in India. I have already done this biosphere reserve lecture. I have given the link in the description box, you can check it out. So in the 18 biosphere reserves, one of the biosphere reserves is the Dihang Dibang Biosphere Reserve. It is actually in the three districts, the Dibang Valley, the Upper Siang and the West Siang. As you can see, this is the Dibang Valley, this is the Upper Siang, and this is the West Siang area. Okay, and two important protected areas are into this biosphere reserve, that is the Mouling National Park and the Dibang Wildlife Sanctuary. These two are the important places into this biosphere reserve. It is the biosphere reserve has an altitudinal range of 500 to 6000 meter, and all types of vegetation almost is found here. The subtropical broadleaf forest, pine forest, temperate broadleaf, temperate conifer, subalpine woody shrub, and you have alpine meadow, bamboo breaks, grasslands, all kinds of forest are found. So the main fauna is related to orchid, rhododendrons and primulas. And let me tell you, this area is also falling into a biodiversity hotspot region. So I have covered this into another lecture, what is biodiversity hotspot and what is the categorization, how they are identified. There are only two biodiversity hotspot regions in India. First is the Western Ghats, and second is this the northeastern Himalayas. So this Mishmi Hills, where this whole issue is arising, falls under the northeastern Himalayas, where this biodiversity hotspot is located. And orchid, rhododendron and primulas are the most important fauna. If we talk about the I'm very sorry, it is the flora. And if you talk about the fauna, then we have the tiger, we have snow leopard, clouded leopard, red panda, Himalayan black bear, sloth bear, we have a Mishmi takin also, and we have wild dogs also here. So these are the important informations. Now we come to the controversy around this project. So there are three areas which we need to talk about this controversy. First concern is the environmental concern. Second is about the indigenous people who are residing here, that is the tribal people. And third is the topographical challenge. Because this area is located in the eastern Himalayan section, it has a very sparse population. Most of the roads are not developed just because of the topographical challenges. So the first environmental concern is that if this hydroelectric power project is built, then we will be losing 3 lakh trees. So remember the figure, 3 lakh trees will be lost, actually they will be felled. So when we are talking about environment conservation and green India and all that, and so in this scenario this is not a viable thing. And apart from this, the Wildlife Institute of India in Dehradun has studied that around 230 species of animals and birds and reptiles are in the Italian hydroelectric project area only, and about 56% of India's bird species found in the project region. So let me tell you, the 56% of India's bird species are only found in that particular region where this hydroelectric power project will be built. And this project will also involve a diversion of 1150 hectares of forest area, which is classified as inviolate area. Let me tell you what is inviolate area. So according to the Ministry of Environment and Forest, the inviolate area is that area where no development project is allowed. So how has the government allowed this project when the Environment Ministry itself has designated the area as an inviolate area? Now, what is the issue with the indigenous people? The indigenous people, Idu Mishmi, is a animist tribe in the Dibang Valley, and the department will divert around 5,000 hectares of land that will affect 2,000 Idu Mishmi individuals. So, Italian will divert so much of land that 285 families and 18 villages will have to be, just cleared out from there. So, no Indian law clearly defines the term indigenous people. First of all, this is a information for you that no Indian law clearly defines the term indigenous people. In the Samatha versus State of Andhra Pradesh case 1997, the government said that the forest lands and tribal lands in a scheduled area can't be leased to non-tribal people or to private industry. Again, in the Kailas and others versus State of Maharashtra 2011, which is not very old, the Supreme Court held that the scheduled tribes are original inhabitants of the country who were the first people to reside in India, and hence they be recognized as the indigenous people. So according to this Mishmi are the indigenous people. And the famous Niamgiri bauxite mining case in 2013 with the Chenchu tribes, the court again recognized the rights of indigenous people over their land and forest. This judgment strengthened the hold of the Idu Mishmi that this issue will be resolved and they will not be actually replaced. And the third one is your topographical challenges. So what are the topographical challenges? These large reservoirs induced dams can produce reservoir induced seismicity. And let me tell you, this Arunachal Pradesh area is already present in a very high seismic zone, and it is very prone to earthquake, and in the last 70 years it has at least experienced 34 earthquakes, and one of them was in the magnitude of 8.6. So this is a very a risky area for these gravity dams to be built. Another risk is the climate change and the thinning of the glaciers. So above this area are many of the glaciers present, and many of the rivers are coming into India from Arunachal Pradesh and entering into Assam and joining Brahmaputra from these glaciers. So when these glaciers are thinning because of the climate change and global warming, so there can be a glacial lake outburst, flood, and these the safety of the dam can be a concern. So these two are the topographical challenges in this area. Now we talk about the recent development. So in 2020 February, the Forest Advisory Committee actually visited this area. Let me tell you, the Forest Advisory Committee is the apex organization under the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. It is a very big hierarchical position. Okay, so in 2020 they visited the area and they told that why can't we lessen the area so that less forest is diverted, less tribes are actually affected, and less animal species and bird species are affected. But in the last meeting again was held in April 2020, and in that meeting actually the Forest Advisory Committee, they neither actually recommended, they nor deferred for the project. Okay, so they neither said no, they neither said yes, because they said that we want a clarification from the Ministry of Power. So they want a clarification from the Ministry of Power that whether there is some policy change. Are they still going for this hydroelectric project when the era has come, when Prime Minister Narendra Modi has declared the solar energy plan and the wind energy plan? So are they still looking for this project in cost of our environmental degradation? And apart from this area also holds the population of tiger. So that is why the NTCA, National Tiger Conservation Authority, have also been contacted, and they also have been told to review the area and submit a report. So that is why the final decision will be made by the Ministry of Environment only. But the Ministry of Environment is actually in a flux, and it has just not given the proper decision of yes or no. It has asked for a report from the Ministry of Power and NTCA. So that is why it has become a controversy, that why Ministry of Environment and Forest and why the Forest Advisory Committee has not actually deferred this project, because this project will actually destroy the whole biogeographic unit present near the hydroelectric area, because the Ministry of Environment itself says into a government report that if this area is lost, we will never regain this area because of its biogeographic endemic character. Okay, so that's all for the issue. Stay tuned and keep reading the newspapers so that you can follow this whole issue. I have explained you the basics and whatever the information the issue holds. Now you can follow it very beautifully in the newspapers. There will be no problem. If you have any problem, you can just comment on the comment section. I will be clearing the doubt. Thank you.